Hey everyone, welcome to Jesse and Jane
Talk.
Talk.
We're here to help you improve your English skills. Let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jesse and Jane Talk. I'm Jesse, and I'm so happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Jane. Thank you for joining us. This podcast is for English learners, and we speak slowly, clearly, and naturally, just like a fun chat with friends.
Every episode is simple, interesting, and easy to enjoy. You don't need a notebook, and you don't need to study hard. Just sit back, relax, and have fun with us.
And as you listen, something really nice happens. You start understanding real English, the way people actually talk. You pick up useful phrases, your listening gets better, and it's actually relaxing and enjoyable.
Exactly. Learning English doesn't have to be stressful. Think of this podcast as two friends having a cheerful conversation, helping you understand English naturally and without pressure.
So, take a deep breath. Get comfortable and enjoy the conversation with us.
All right, let's jump into today's episode. So, Jane, have you ever noticed how small things can make a day feel special? Like a smell, a sound, or even a little smile from a stranger?
Oh, yes. Just yesterday, I saw a little cat sitting on a wall outside my window. It was raining lately, and the cat was looking at the drops falling. It made me pause for a moment and just smile.
That's perfect. Little moments like that are treasures. I had something similar last week. I was walking to the store, and a child waved at me. I waved back, and just that tiny interaction made me feel cheerful for hours.
Isn't it amazing how small gestures can make a big difference? I think it also reminds us to notice the world around us. English learning is similar. You notice small words and phrases every day, and slowly they build into confidence.
Exactly. And sometimes, little words can make conversations more meaningful. For example, just saying thank you with a smile can brighten someone's day.
True. And it's easy to use in English. Thank you very much or thanks a lot are simple, but they show kindness.
Speaking of kindness, I wanted to tell you about something funny that happened yesterday. I went to the supermarket, and I saw a lady struggling with heavy bags. I offered to help her carry one, and she laughed and said, "You must be a superhero today."
That's so cute. I can imagine you walking with a bag like a superhero.
Yes, I felt a little heroic. And it made me realize that simple actions like helping someone can create stories we remember.
Stories are wonderful for learning, too. When we remember a story, the words and sentences stay in our mind longer.
Exactly. And that's why I think listening to podcasts like this is so helpful. We share little stories from life, and our listeners pick up English naturally.
Yes. And sometimes I like to imagine what our listeners might be doing while listening. Maybe someone is walking in the park, or cooking, or sitting on a quiet bench. And even there, they're learning English without stress.
That's beautiful. I like that thought. And speaking of stories, let me tell you about a funny moment with my dog this week.
Oh, I can't wait!
So I was trying to teach him a new trick. I said, "Sit." But he looked at me, tilted his head, and then just ran around in circles instead. He didn't sit at all.
Oh, no! Dogs are so funny. They have their own ideas about life.
Yes, but the best part is I couldn't stop laughing. And he looked proud of himself like he had done something amazing.
I love that. Animals teach us to enjoy little moments and laugh at small mistakes. It's a great lesson for learning English, too. Mistakes are part of the process, and we can still enjoy ourselves.
Exactly. And it reminds me of when I was learning English years ago. I said something completely wrong in a cafe, and the barista laughed softly. I was embarrassed at first, but then I realized I had just made a memory that helped me remember the phrase forever.
That's true. Humor helps memory. And I think our listeners can try this too. Don't be afraid to laugh at mistakes. English becomes easier when it's fun.
Absolutely. And fun can be everywhere. Like yesterday evening, I decided to watch the sunset. The sky was pink, orange, and purple. I even tried describing it in English out loud. The sky looks soft and warm, like a painting.
That's beautiful, Jesse. And describing things you see every day is such a good practice. You can say, the tree is green, or the coffee smells strong, and slowly you build your vocabulary.
Exactly. And our listeners can do this too. Just look around and describe what you see. For example, right now I see my desk, a cup of coffee, and a small notebook.
And I see my plant, a lamp, and the soft light coming through the window. Even small descriptions like this are English practice.
Yes. And talking about plants reminds me, I started growing a small herb garden on my balcony. Basil, mint, and rosemary.
Wow, that's so nice. I love having plants around. They make spaces feel alive.
And growing herbs is simple. You water them, give them sunlight, and slowly you see them grow. English is similar. You practice a little every day, and slowly you see improvement.
That's a perfect example. And speaking of daily habits, I try to write a small journal every evening in English. Just 2 or 3 sentences about my day.
That's excellent, and it's simple. You can write, I woke up early. I had coffee. I listened to a podcast. And that's already a full practice session.
Exactly. And I add little feelings too, like I felt happy when I saw a bird outside. Small, easy sentences that make a big difference.
That's inspiring. And you know what's nice? Sometimes journaling gives ideas for conversation. You can talk about your day, your feelings, and small stories naturally.
Yes, and it can even help in real situations. Imagine meeting a friend and saying, I saw a beautiful bird today, or I tried a new recipe. Simple, but real conversation.
Speaking of recipes, I tried baking bread last weekend. It was my first time, and I almost burned it. But the smell in the kitchen was amazing.
Oh no, but I know that smell. Even a little mistake in cooking can make the kitchen smell good.
Exactly. And the taste was not perfect, but it was a memory. I even told my neighbor, I tried to bake bread. It looks strange, but it tastes okay.
That's a great sentence. Simple and honest. And it's perfect English practice.
Yes. And you know what? That small story became a conversation starter with my neighbor. We talked about cooking, baking, and favorite foods.
That's amazing. Stories like this make English learning natural.
Exactly. And speaking of stories, I remember traveling once. I didn't know much English at the time, but I tried asking directions. I said, "Excuse me, where is the train station?"
And?
The person smiled and helped me. I learned a new phrase that day, and I remember it forever. Go straight, then turn left. Simple, right?
Yes, and that's exactly how language learning works. Little experiences, little sentences, slowly building skills.
And it's important to notice little successes, like asking a question, understanding a short answer, or describing a simple thing.
Absolutely. I also think imagination helps. When you describe things in your mind, even silently, you practice English.
That's a good point. For example, I like imagining a story about my morning coffee. I picture myself walking to the cafe, the smell of coffee, the sounds around me, and I tell the story in English in my mind.
That's fantastic practice. And fun, too. Imagination turns learning into play.
Exactly. And little humor helps as well. Yesterday, I tried making tea, and I forgot to put the tea bag in the cup. I only realized it after taking a sip.
Oh no, classic mistake.
Yes, but it made me laugh. And now I can tell a story. I drank tea without tea. Simple, funny, and perfect for English.
Humor always works, and stories like this are more memorable than boring exercises.
Definitely. And I think our listeners can do the same. Notice small moments, try to describe them, and even make little jokes.
Exactly. And it doesn't need to be perfect. English is a tool for communication, not perfection.
I love that. And speaking of communication, I tried calling a friend in another country yesterday. We spoke slowly and clearly, and we both laughed a lot.
Laughter makes language easier. When we laugh, we remember words better.
Yes! And I even learned one new word during the call. Curious. My friend said, "I'm curious about your garden," and I understood it from context.
That's perfect. And context is everything. You don't always need a dictionary.
Exactly. And conversations like this podcast help too. Even listening can teach words naturally.
Yes, and that's why I like chatting with you, Jesse. Every time we talk, there's something new.
Me too, Jane. And I hope our listeners feel that too. Friendly, natural conversation full of simple words, stories, feelings, and small lessons.
Exactly. And if someone listens every day, even for a few minutes, they're learning more than they realize.
Little by little, sentence by sentence.
And with joy, curiosity, and maybe a little humor.
Yes, and I like to remind myself, mistakes are fine, stories are better, and learning can be beautiful.
Absolutely. And I hope today's conversation brought a little joy, calm, and inspiration to everyone listening.
And remember, it's okay to take small steps. Speak slowly, think slowly, enjoy every word you understand.
Exactly. Every small moment of practice counts. Every little phrase you learn builds confidence.
So, to all our listeners, thank you for spending this time with us today.
You're doing amazing just by listening and enjoying.
And we'll see you next time on Jesse and Jane Talk.
Take care and have a wonderful day.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching Jesse and Jane Talk.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed it, hit the like button.
Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.